we had our school had an event that we were sponsoring, a charity event, and we needed somebody to sing at that event. And I knew that she was a singer, one of my students.
I was a singer before.
Yeah. I knew that she was a singer, so I'm like, oh yeah, maybe we can get this student to sing. So I reached out to her, and then she came in. She said, "Yeah, I'd love to do that." And then I suggested, "Hey, why don't we sing an English song together at the event? You know, because we're an English school."
Yeah, so we met there actually, and then we started dating from that event.
From that event.
Yeah, from that event, and I mean, we are actually having a family now. He's still an English teacher at the junior high and high school, and I'm just taking care of the kids every day.
The story of acquaintance is certainly interesting, but I also want to ask the guys more pressing questions. For example, when does maternity leave start in Japan and how long does it last?
In Japan, before baby born, I think 6 weeks before, a pregnant lady has to stop working.
Stop working.
Yeah,
6 weeks
working.
before the birth.
I think so. Yeah, 6.
And then
after baby born, I think 8 weeks, the lady has to get off.
At least.
At least, yeah.
But
at least, yeah.
women are allowed to, and men too, are allowed to take maternity leave for a year.
Yeah.
Men too are allowed that, but most men don't take that. And in fact, I too was allowed to have that amount of time off, but I only took 3 or 4 weeks off.
Yeah.
There's kind of a social pressure, even though the government says you have this much time, there's a social pressure not to take all of that time.
Yeah. It's a little changing though now.
Yeah, it's changing.
It's a little bit changing. Before, yes. It's hard to take that.
Women usually take most of the time.
Yeah.
Men, it's still very hard for them to take
Yeah.
all that time off.
Another equally interesting question that I asked the guys was about government assistance to young families. And it turned out that immediately after birth, young mothers receive a good cash bonus.
I think it's 400,000 yen.
Yeah.
About $4,000.
More than
Yeah,
4,000.
a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah.
After that, of course, there's help for like poor families. You know, poor families get help. And the government also gives a child allowance, which I believe it's, how much is it? It's like let me think, 180,000 yen, which is like $1,800 for children under 3, right?
Yes. Under 3.
And once they get over 3, it gets a little bit less than that, but they're still allowed to have some child allowance. And that's paid out 3 times a year.
But what happens when it's time to send the children to kindergarten? At what age is this done in Japan?
Is 3 years old, then it's
like
almost
government
nothing.
help us a lot. Like I forgot how much, but like we only pay like our first daughter goes to Japanese like a public. Not
Public. Yeah.
It's private. Yeah.
Private, but it's
but it's
funded
the
by the
same,
government too. It's confusing.
Yeah, so
but
like we pay like 9,000 yen.
very different from international.
Yeah.
What about the international?
International. Oh my gosh, it's really expensive.
Very expensive.
It's really expensive.
So international schools are usually more than 1 million yen a year, which of course more. That's like basic, which is like $10,000 a year.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of international schools, but a lot of them are not, how do I say this? Advertising purposes, which means that they're not truly international schools. The real international schools are much, much more expensive. And those schools are the ones that have expats, people from different countries sending their kids, and all of the schools in English. There are also international schools here that are in English, but usually have mostly Japanese students that are learning English. And that's quite different from the true international schools that are mostly foreign students and Japanese students learning different subjects like math and science in English.
Your family is international. What about how raising children in your family differs from the
generally accepted in Japan?
It's actually not like it's not a big deal, especially because this is like kind of big city in Japan. You know, like Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya is kind of big city. So like more different country people living around here too. So kind of makes us easy to raising international kids here.
I think just one of the differences that because I have a different cultural background, they will naturally have, they will learn some things from that culture that a lot of Japanese kids don't know about. A lot of, styles of comedy or ways of speaking or something that might be different from how their friends speak. So we celebrate Christmas with different kinds of food than Japanese people usually do. So,
we eat KFC.
Japanese people.
We
don't.
No, we don't.
We don't. Japanese people.
Generally, Japanese people usually eat KFC for Christmas.
Right.
A lot. Yeah, not everybody. Not everybody.
But it is a very common tradition that a lot of Japanese people follow.
I know, it's weird.
Yeah, it seems very
I didn't think it's weird until I met him. But
toward the end of the interview, I asked Sean and Yoshika one more question. In my opinion, this is especially important for immigrants with children. Did the girls get in trouble for being only half Japanese?
Not yet. I think those kind of troubles might come maybe when they enter elementary school, but not yet. I mean, the only questions we get are from other kids that are asking like, "Are you guys? Where are you from?" kind of stuff, and I have to tell them, "Oh, they're Japanese and they're American." But no troubles yet.
No trouble.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's gonna be big trouble here, because we kind of now, like people get used to like seeing
this area,
people.
yeah. This is
area.
particularly this area.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure other areas where there aren't as many foreign people, it might be a little.
I thanked the guys for the conversation and thought about our future in Japan. Naturally, I still have many questions that I will certainly ask my next interlocutors.